The stadium announcer read his name over the loudspeakers at Stamford Bridge, and the fans did not answer with cheers or that sassive roar that used to greet Chelsea's star player. There was none of the warmth a midfielder who cost £105 million and scored 16 goals in 27 matches should expect from his own home crowd. Just raw hostility. The stadium that was supposed to be his home was turning on him in real time. Now, the massive question the entire football world is asking itself has absolutely nothing to do with Enzo Fernandez's sheer ability on the pitch. We all know he is a top player. Instead, the real debate is whether English football can ever separate what he does with the ball from what he recently did entirely without it. Can Stamford Bridge truly look past the star midfielder who gave them 16 goal contributions in 27 games, and forgive the man who blew England fans a sarcastic kiss during a major semi-final just 3 weeks ago? Right now, the painful answer to that crucial question appears to be a very resounding no. Because we are currently watching the unfolding of what has easily become the most uncomfortable, tense, and highly charged football story anywhere in England today. Enzo Fernández, Stamford Bridge, and the bitter, loud booing that has officially started. The massive anger has not cooled down. This is the pressing question that Xabi Alonso, the Chelsea board, and the player himself must urgently answer. Can this broken relationship actually be repaired, or is Enzo Fernandez's turbulent time in English football already coming to an end? Make no mistake, every word of this is real. Let us examine the reception. What actually happened when he returned? Imagine the incredibly tense atmosphere inside Stamford Bridge when Fernandez's name appeared in the starting lineup. Sky Sports reporter Callum Bishop covered the cold reception directly. He described a deeply fractured reaction. Certainly not a hero's welcome, nor even the polite applause of fans willing to forgive the past and focus on football. There were scattered cheers from loyal supporters who have backed him for 3 long years and understand his value. But there were also loud, undeniable boos. Fans literally jeering their own player at home. Angry posts on social media from football fans across the country quickly captured the sour mood. One highly viral post expressed total disbelief, questioning how Enzo Fernández could ever step onto the pitch without getting booed every single time he touches the ball. This is clearly not going to be pleasant for him. A dedicated, lifelong Chelsea supporter quickly agreed, confirming that a massive section of their fan base simply wants him sold. Soon after, the wider footballing community weighed in. Supporters from rival clubs and completely different backgrounds were all echoing the exact same sentiment. He cupped his ears toward the England fans during the World Cup. He posed in a controversial celebratory banner. He even got sent off in the final, costing Argentina the entire tournament. Then he made a social media post about issues larger than football without offering a real apology. The hostile reception at Stamford Bridge surprised no one. Even major outlets predicted it. They warned the midfielder was absolutely guaranteed to face an incredibly cold environment if he ever stepped back onto a Premier League pitch. That exact chilling word was printed well before he even landed in England, long before any official team sheet was announced. The entire sports media knew what was coming, and it did. Now imagine you are a passionate Chelsea supporter. You have closely watched Fernandez play for 3 years. You know his incredible talent and what he brings every week. But you also watched him mock England fans and display a banner about a war where 255 British soldiers tragically died. If you were in those stands when his name echoed over the speakers, what would you have done? Would you cheer or join the boos? The tension was growing deeper. Because understanding Fernandez's past history with angry crowds makes this Stamford Bridge drama even more significant. Let us look at his previous conflicts. There is a deep pattern here that most people covering this drama are completely missing. This is not the first time Enzo Fernández has dealt with an incredibly hostile crowd, and his past reaction reveals a great deal about how he might handle this crisis. Look at last season's Champions League clash between Chelsea and Benfica right here. Fernandez went to take a corner kick in front of Benfica fans, the same fans who had once adored him during his successful time there. Before he signed a new deal, beat his chest after scoring, and then forced a massive record-breaking transfer to Chelsea just weeks later. The traveling support never forgave that betrayal, and multiple objects were thrown at him as he walked over. Bitter jeers rained down from the stands. Fernandez initially clapped back at his former supporters in a polite gesture, seemingly unaware of how deep the hatred ran. But as the boos grew louder, he stopped dead and looked genuinely stunned. That was when Mourinho, the Chelsea boss, strode out of his technical area and marched toward the away support. With his hands raised, he urged the Benfica supporters to calm down, the special one physically intervening to shield his midfielder from the toxic atmosphere. Mourinho actually labeled him the classy one after the match ended. Think back to that classy midfielder at Chelsea, facing a barrage of coins thrown by his bitter former supporters, while his manager desperately shielded him. But now Mourinho has departed, and that toxic atmosphere is no longer confined to Benfica supporters in the away end. It is the entire English football ecosystem. We mean home supporters at Stamford Bridge, and furious away fans at every single Premier League ground he visits this year. All those crowds who watched him cup his ears in Atlanta, and every spectator who saw that highly controversial banner. Every passionate England supporter who watched that shocking red card in the final, then saw his smug finger wag afterward, who is going to step out of the technical area to protect him from that. Part 3. The booing that is bigger than Chelsea. This is exactly what makes the toxic Stamford Bridge reception so significant far beyond West London. It is a brutal warning of what the entire Premier League season holds for Fernandez. Think about every away ground, every Premier League stadium outside of London, far from the Argentine community in England. Every match where those hostile away stands contain huge numbers of passionate England supporters who paid for tickets specifically to torment him whenever Chelsea come to town this year. Watford away, Everton away, Newcastle away, Tottenham away, Arsenal away, Manchester United away, and Manchester City away. Literally every single ground across England, where rival fans have been waiting impatiently since July 19th, waiting since that ear cup, that banner, that finger wag, and that half-hearted Instagram post that never actually apologized. This is absolutely not a one-match story. This is a full-season narrative. And carrying that heavy weight into every stadium in England for 9 long months, while being totally trapped because Real Madrid backed out and no one else will match Chelsea's massive £120 million valuation, is the harsh reality Enzo Fernández woke up to this week. Yet here is the raw human element that every single person in England currently screaming for his head needs to sit with for a moment. Because we have to face the absolute unfiltered truth here, not just the comfortable version. He is only 25 years old, and he grew up in Argentina. He learned his football in a deeply patriotic culture where the Falklands are passionately claimed as Las Malvinas, a historic conflict that fuels national identity in football in ways outsiders can never fully grasp. He is certainly not the first Argentine player to raise that banner, and he definitely won't be the last. He simply celebrated the single biggest moment of his entire career in the way that felt completely natural to him then. None of that actually makes what he did right. Holding that banner was wrong, cupping his ears was highly provocative, and that defensive Instagram post was completely tone-deaf. These are heavy, deeply valid criticisms. But the endless booing of a 25-year-old kid at his own home stadium for weeks on end, that hostile, toxic reception in every stadium across England, the vicious online posts demanding he be refused service in every pub and restaurant until he flees the country. That is a very real, terrifying thing happening to a human being. Whether he can handle this pressure with the deep maturity his career now demands is the ultimate question. So, let me ask you something. Is this relentless booing from Chelsea supporters a completely justified reaction to his behavior? Or has English football crossed a dangerous line from justified anger into outright bullying? Share your thoughts below. I want to hear both perspectives on this. Part 4. Transfer limbo, the golden prison he simply cannot escape. This is the messy reality that makes the relentless booing even more complicated. Fernandez cannot leave, despite making his desperate desire to escape crystal clear. Think back to that telling interview in March where he admitted he wanted to live in Madrid. Chelsea took immediate action, suspending him for 2 matches on the spot. His agent, Javier Pastore, publicly slammed the ban as completely unfair, claiming his client did not understand the club's harsh decision. Imagine that. He didn't understand why he was punished for actively, publicly undermining his own club while tied to a massive contract. His escape route was Madrid. Chelsea demanded £120 million. For a brief moment, that astronomical price tag didn't scare Madrid. Then the World Cup changed everything. That dramatic red card, the heated tunnel confrontation, and endless articles branding him the villain. It prompted Real Madrid to issue a statement abandoning the chase. Insiders confirmed the reality. Fernandez now finds himself completely stranded in limbo. Whatever happens now is entirely on him. His dream move evaporated in those exact 93 minutes that transformed him into the most controversial figure in the English game. Manchester City even held very early informal talks, according to reliable transfer insiders. But Chelsea's massive price tag of £120 million has scared away every single suitor. He is now a player whose once sky-high market value is heavily damaged by constant controversies, racism investigations, and reckless social media posts. Not to mention that World Cup red card and the finger wag, all sitting in the red-flagged file any sporting director reads before signing a player. While Xabi Alonso publicly insisted he wants to keep him, Chelsea desperately need his output, having contributed to 16 goals in 27 appearances. That level of creative output is incredibly difficult for any squad to replace. It does not matter how messy the situation around the midfielder gets. Fernandez is staying put. He is training at Cobham and performing at Stamford Bridge. He will travel to every away ground in England, and he carries the crushing weight of everything that transpired in July into every single match of this grueling Premier League season. So make sure to hit subscribe and share, because this final chapter is easily the most crucial thing this entire story tells us. Part 5. What happens next? There is only one real way through this storm. Let me give you the absolute truth about what Enzo Fernández must do and whether he is capable of doing it. He must apologize directly, not with a vague Instagram post about things being bigger than match results. Not some statement from his agent claiming any punishment is completely unfair. A direct public admission that cupping his ears toward the England fans was completely wrong. That celebrating in front of the families of 255 fallen soldiers linked to that controversial banner was entirely wrong. That his foolish red card in the World Cup final cost both his country and his teammates, and he is sorry. That apology still has not come. It has now been 3 full weeks since that final. He has had plenty of time to reflect on it, consult advisors, write it, and publish it. He has simply chosen not to. Whether that dynamic changes as the booing intensifies, when the hostile away fixtures begin, and when the immense pressure of a long season in this environment sinks in, is a decision only Fernandez can make. His track record is not encouraging. Just look at the racist chant video back in 2024. He apologized only after Wesley Fofana shared it, and the massive backlash grew. The Copa America celebration video followed the same pattern. Sorry under pressure, never before. His pattern is simple: act first, and only address the mess when forced. The sarcastic clapping directed at the referee, that familiar finger wag, and the deleted Instagram post all fit this exact same template. Chelsea are shielding him publicly in the only way they really can right now. Xabi Alonso says he wants to keep him, and no further official comments have been made. The club deleted his celebration post, going completely silent in hopes that the noise would fade. But the noise is not fading away. That Stamford Bridge booing was real, and the Threads posts are still live. Goal.com already published their detailed transfer limbo analysis, while several Spanish-speaking sports channels are pushing out their own heavy breakdowns. This massive story is everywhere, and it simply is not going away. Fernandez will play his way through the storm, or he will fail. He will either deliver the top performances that force Chelsea supporters to remember why they actually wanted him, or he simply will not. He will either find the right words to begin healing this deep wound, or he will keep hoping his football makes the conversation entirely unnecessary. Whether English football will give him the space to try is its own heavy question. Whether the hostile booing stays within the normal limits of matchday rivalry or warps into something far more personal and relentless is a serious question that English clubs, English supporters, and the game's governing bodies must answer. He is only 25 years old. He made massive mistakes, he has refused to apologize properly, and he is stuck at a club he desperately wants to leave. He is forced to play in a country that watched him mock them on the absolute grandest stage in world football. That is the reality. There is absolutely no easy version of the next 9 months for Enzo Fernández, and that is the raw truth. The Stamford Bridge reception confirmed this growing booing, highlighting the bitter history of Fernández and hostile English crowds, the brutal transfer limbo he cannot escape, and the single path forward that nobody has seen him take yet. I have 3 questions for you. Drop your answers in the comments below. First, has Fernandez actually done enough since the World Cup to deserve a fair reception from the Chelsea supporters? Or has he fully earned this hostile booing through his silence and that controversial Instagram post? Second, if Fernandez travels to every single away ground in England this season and faces a hostile reception everywhere he goes, does Xabi Alonso need to sell him in January for his own good and the overall health of the squad? Third, if Fernandez finally issues a direct public apology to England fans and the families connected to the Falklands and to the Chelsea supporters for that costly red card specifically, does that actually change how you feel about him playing in the Premier League? Please share your thoughts below. I read every single comment. This massive conversation really matters, and I want to hear every unique perspective on this dramatic situation. Be sure to hit that like button, share this with every Chelsea or England supporter you know, and subscribe if you want more of these breakdowns. New videos drop every single week, and I will see you in the next one.